All right, so as you can see, I am in the middle of nowhere, just on the outskirts of the town of Mesquite, Nevada, and I've pulled over here on the side of the road where, yeah, at first it looks like there is absolutely nothing going on, but that's why it pays to look a little bit closer. Dude, look at this right off the side of the road here. It's the Sphinx! Sure, it's a little bit smaller than the one at the Luxor, but that is somebody's custom-made roadside carving over here. You can see these like sort of terraces out here as they're building this road. I have no idea what this road is for. It's called Lower Flat Top Road. It's an easy sort of wrong turn from I-15, the main highway between Las Vegas, Nevada, and Utah. Somebody has decided the sides of the highway here, the carve-outs on either side of the road, could use a little art. And here is a Sphinx. You can see the paws right down here. And then up above it, the head. That is so cool, dude. This thing is going to be sadly temporary because there's no way erosion isn't going to take this bad boy down eventually. But this is incredible. There's a Sphinx in the middle of nowhere for no reason. I couldn't find any information about who is creating these things online. And I say these things because supposedly the rest of this road is also dotted with strange carvings, just like this one. Look at the face on that guy. That is so freaking cool, dude. This is awesome. See, more people should be doing stuff like this instead of crimes. All right, look at this. Just a little ways back from where I just stopped. Check this out. I drove right past this one without even seeing it. And this is a random roadside carving on an even more epic scale. Look at this. It's Lady Liberty. That is the head of the Statue of Liberty buried here in the roadside dirt. Again, all of this is for no reason. Look at the plywood spires coming out of her head there. There's her eyes and nose. Actually beautifully sculpted out of the dirt and the rock on the side of the highway. And way up there is her hand holding the torch. Look at this. You can see a lot of people carve their names. And look, there's a peace sign right there in the rock. But the story is going to get even better because I just found out exactly who has been creating these mysterious carvings on the side of the highway. Because as I was driving around, I saw the guy in the act. An older fella, white hair, just down there a ways, working on a new carving. His name is Pete Karns. He said he started doing this about 8 years ago all by himself. And I said, dude, what inspired you to get outside and do this? He says, nothing. I said, was there any particular reason? He goes, no reason. No reason at all. Just getting some exercise, getting outside. He said, people carve their names into the rocks over here all the time, you know. John was here, that kind of thing. And so why not do one better? Well, I think this is a lot more than one better. That is so awesome. He was telling me that he knows they're all just temporary. Eventually erosion and rain will get them and they'll disappear. He's actually done more than one of some of the carvings because they'll disappear over time. But he's just a local patriotic guy. Looks obviously like a retired guy who's just out here creating art for, as he put it, no reason. I mean, dude, this is absolutely incredible. People are pulling over to take a look. It's become sort of a local legend, like these mysterious carvings and structures over here. Pete's up there carving away at a new one right now. He was showing me some of his earlier ones, like he had an old quarter there, like a silver dollar looking thing with George Washington on it. We had a little short conversation, but he was obviously busy cracking away as much as he could before the sun rises too much and it gets too hot. It's only like 50 degrees out here, but if you stand in the sun anywhere in the desert for too long, you will still get overheated. Look at all those people enjoying the Statue of Liberty back there. What I was noticing, though, is that there's stuff like this here, the American flag. Apparently, he comes out here and does quite a bit of work, but you can see some other people have come and sort of imitated him. But apparently this was going on all the time. People just carving stuff out in the desert. Actually, if you spent any time traveling in any desert, you'll see lots of spray paint on rocks and people carve their names in everywhere. And it goes all the way back to like the pioneers, right? The covered wagon trains. And even before that, you got petroglyphs out here in the desert, the Native American petroglyphs and stuff. There's something in human nature all over the world, no matter what your ethnic or cultural background is, something about leaving an imprint, leaving your name behind, creating art, vulgar or otherwise. And here we have some very patriotic art along the side of the highway. People are impressed, and I am one of those people. Look at all the faces, all those creepy faces in the rock over here. You can see what I'm talking about all the graffiti and sort of weird little shapes and petroglyphs. Let's look at this little dugout here with a vase of flowers. Here's a little creepy face right over there. No way of knowing whether that's Pete's or an imitator's, but this is amazing over here. The Statue of Liberty is huge. I mean, it's as tall as I am, this head over here. And I saw him scraping away at Stonehenge. That's the next one he's working on up ahead down the highway. And it looked like it was very difficult. He was going, the hard part is the rock is so uneven. I mean, he's got layers of hard stone, layers of just sort of sand, of just loose dirt and mud. He was very dismissive, like, yeah, I'm just digging away on the side of the road, no big deal. But I could see here he's used chicken wire to sort of hold back some of the mud. He's used, wood planks here to create the rays poking out of the Statue of Liberty's headdress. I don't know what you call her hat. I'm trying to figure out a way to get up to that torch to see it closer. I guess I'll just have to zoom in because you can see the detail on the hand is actually amazing. And it's so funny. He had absolutely no interest, really. I guess I was bugging him a little. Not making him angry bugging him, but he just had no interest in talking about it. He didn't want any recognition. He's like, I'm just trying to get this done, sonny. And you see a family here stopping. You get a sense of scale there in terms of how big they are. Again, not as big as Lady Liberty in Las Vegas or anything, but the Statue of Liberty at New York wasn't carved into the side of a hill by one older guy. Oh, and that's not it, my friends. There is much more over here on the side of this highway. Now what I'm doing is I'm leaving Las Vegas now and headed towards Utah because I have a delivery to make, a drop off with a friend of mine. We'll see his shop, I hope, today. I might make it all the way back home to Southern California today, but I have an aunt that moved to Nevada, so I might be going to Utah, dropping something off, going back to Nevada, stopping to see my aunt. Who knows if I'll have to spend the night? Who knows if it'll be a one-day situation? Meanwhile, at home in Southern California, yeah, it's been absolute chaos. It's been completely horrible. Some of the worst fires of all time in LA's history burning away. Nowhere close to my house, but I do have family that live near the hills. Boy, I can see a lot of scratching and cool stuff over here, but let's go to one of the main attractions. Anyway, I feel weird and helpless, as I'm sure everybody does who's seen the news. Giving a little donation to some of the charities and things. There's nothing I can do hands-on at home. In the meantime, I guess the show must go on, at least until I get back. So, okay, look at this. There's a whole freaking castle over here. I was talking to Pete down there, down the road. He goes, oh yeah, you drove right past my Mount Rushmore, which I can see is just over here. But forget Mount Rushmore. He said nothing about the huge, epic castle that he constructed over here on the side of the highway. Look at this thing. Can you see it? You got these crenellated turrets right over here. What, is that the hockey team's logo for Las Vegas? That's crazy. You can see some people have defaced his work. That's so unfortunate because there's so much rock here. Come on, Oscar. Carve your name somewhere else. This is what he was talking about when he was saying all the layers are different. You can see there was a little detail here that has disappeared over time. He said he's been doing this for about 8 years. None of them are really permanent. Now, see, this is the kind of thing that I'm sure he's just decided it's okay for him to do. And here's Mount Rushmore over here. Let's get up close, see if we can get a look at some of the presidents. So this is the second one he actually made. That looks like George Washington there, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. This is so cool. It's kind of creepy the way that they're fading away. But see, now if I were on the city council or whatever, I'd be like, dude, let's give you a section of town with some really good rock. Oh, look at that one's crumbling apart. Darn. Give him permission, let him work with some concrete. But who knows? Maybe he just likes to keep it this way, sort of informal, doing his thing. George Washington's looking pretty good. The rest of the presidents seem to have fallen on hard times. Very proud of Mount Rushmore, as he should be. This is freaking cool. And yet just said nothing about the castle. Maybe that's his early work. Maybe he's like, oh, don't look at that. Dude, this is absolutely nuts. Okay, here's some of the stuff I was seeing on the way in. Look at this. You got some Peanuts characters up there in the hard stone. I got the sense when he was talking to me that he'd prefer it was all hard stone, so it would last a little bit longer, although it's sandstone, so it's going to erode eventually. Look at that. You can see Linus up there playing the piano. It looks like Sally. There's Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Lucy. Was not expecting Snoopy. He said nothing about Peanuts characters. And then you have some Olympic rings up here. So clearly whatever's going on, the inspiration strikes him and he comes out here and just creates some art on the side of the highway, like he said, for no reason. I told him on behalf of me and people like me who really get off on this stuff, wanted to express my thanks. He's like, I'm just getting exercise. He did not care about praise. He just likes coming out here and scraping away at the side of the hill. Look at Donald and Daisy right there. How freaking sick is that? Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's Tom and Jerry. Now, he didn't mention these to me, so I don't know that he did these, but he did point out the silver dollar or silver quarter, whatever it was over there with George Washington's face on it as one of his things. So I would assume this is his stuff, some of his early stuff. You see, that's carved into the stone. Let me see if I can... Oh yeah, that's solid rock right there, at least for now. Soft rock, so it'll go away. Look at Tom and Jerry on the side of the... I gotta keep my eyes peeled, man. Look at that, you can see what I'm talking about. Every couple of seconds, people are stopping over here to check it out. There are several hiking trails in the area, too, so a lot of people pull over here to do some hiking trails up here outside of Mesquite, Nevada, which you can see just down there through the canyon. At the bottom right there, and there's I-15 heading between Vegas and Salt Lake City. Oh, I see how he did it now. I see how he got up there. All right, we're above the Statue of Liberty's head now. I can see a little sign. It's faded away, but I'm sure that's like, hey, be careful. Do not get too close to this bad boy. I just wanted to get a close-up on the torch. We want to be careful not to disturb the edge. I would not recommend climbing up here, actually, at all. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to get a look at his handiwork. This is incredible. This is awesome. This is the kind of stuff that some local government official will be like, oh, you can't be doing that. But I think this is the stuff that should be encouraged. Pete Karns. All right, I'm inspired, man. Bro, it looks so simple. I'm sure on camera it looks really simple. It's way slipperier and more treacherous up here where these carvings are than you would think. I mean, if I took a spill, I'd break an arm, maybe break my neck. I can't even imagine what would happen to Pete. You saw him over there if he fell down this. So he's just out here doing what he loves for no reason. And I love that. Total kindred spirit. You gotta remember, I started all this filming before people were making whole careers and becoming international celebrities by being on YouTube. When I started putting YouTube videos up, people were like, why? And my answer was exactly the same. I don't know, I want to. You know? Mr. Pete, I don't want to bug you too much, but could I take a picture with you? I'm inspired. Good. I didn't want to interrupt you too much. But this is so exciting. Look at that. Stonehenge is on the way. That is so cool. All right, well, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to work. Oh, that is so awesome. Okay, so just to clarify, Mr. Pete over here does get a permit. He was out here doing it just randomly, and then eventually did get permits from the city to do this, and they put no trespassing signs. I can't talk today. Along some of the sides of the road to just sort of kind of protect them. Look at this. This belongs in a museum on the side of the highway over here. Look at these moai. This is the most incredible thing I have ever seen. He just told me, oh yeah, there's a Easter Island heads over there. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's neat. I didn't think there was going to be 8 absolutely massive sandstone moai in a row over here. Well, one of them's crumbled down a bit. He was telling me, I asked him, do a lot of people stop and talk to you while you're doing this? He goes, oh yeah, people like to stop and come and climb around and check them out and all that stuff. He's like, the problem is, then they knock them down. This looks like one moai has disappeared. This one's look at him. He's been adapted. It looks like the bottom half crumbled away, and so he improvised there with the face. I love that. This is so cool. It's a bucket list, lifelong dream of mine to visit Easter Island. I don't know whether that'll happen anytime soon. That's going to cost quite a fortune. I have a friend who wants to go there. We'll see. We will see. It's very expensive to get down to Chile and then take a little plane over to the island and all that stuff. But still, bucket list dream. However, Even if I never make it there, I'll take this. This is so freaking, I am so glad I got off the interstate. One of the ways I find places like this, and I'm sure this is on a website somewhere, but one of the ways I find places like this is I'll pull over somewhere at a gas station and I'll just talk to people. I'll go, is there anything weird and kind of unusual in this area? Roadside stuff. I was getting off the freeway earlier just to get gas really quick, and I was like, oh, I've never been to Mesquite. I was going to drive into the downtown. The lady at the gas station goes, oh, just keep going up the road. You'll see it on the side of the highway. I go, what? There's all these carvings and nobody knows who makes them. Well, now I'm here to tell you, it's Pete Karns. There, off he goes. He told me a minute ago, he's like, it's just about time for lunch. So funny, friendly guy. He liked talking to me. Let me take a photo with him. Had no problem with us. The camera being nearby. I just got that feeling like he's like, hey man, I gotta get some work done here. I get it. I totally get it. But people like that are my absolute inspiration. And speaking of moai and Polynesian things and folk art, that's actually the reason I'm heading up to Utah. I've got a couple of tiki carvings I made myself in the back of my car, and I'm delivering them to Cedar City, Utah, which is quite a ways away, so I guess I'd better get going. The route between Las Vegas and Cedar City, Utah takes us obviously through this weird corner of Nevada, and then we've got to go up through a little chunk of Arizona, and then into southwestern Utah itself. I just can't get enough of this. Is the most amazing thing. It almost reminds me of like, the Temple of Ramses or something in Egypt. This is freaking incredible. You know what? I just spent a week in Las Vegas looking at things that people fly from all over the world to see, some of the most impressive stuff in the United States from a certain point of view, and nothing there impressed me more than this. This is awesome. All right, before I saddle up and head out, you can see there's the I-15. There's Mesquite over kind of on the bottom right. And this is where we are over here on Flat Top Road or Flat Top Drive. I'm sure it'll come up if you search for it. So if you want to check it out, if you're going between Vegas and Salt Lake in either direction, Mesquite, Nevada, it is an exit off the freeway for Flat Top Road or Drive. I forget which one it is. And you just cruise along it. Eventually you see the moai. If you're coming from the Vegas side, if you've seen the moai, they are the end of the line. Turn around and go back a little bit, but there you go. Awesome. Anyway, this was supposed to be like a 5-minute stop that turned into a 2-hour stop because I met Mr. Pete out here, so I've got to keep cruising on. Whew, it's time to make tracks for sure. I am now very much behind schedule. Hot dang it, I missed the sign, but look at this. We are now in Arizona. We're cutting through a little corner of Arizona. The very extreme northwestern corner, top left corner. Soon we'll be in Utah. My whole plan was actually to get there doing the old US highway so I could see some of the old motels and roadside attractions, but now I'm so far behind schedule, I'm taking the interstate. Although I hate I-15 going up into Utah because you have to travel up the Virgin River Gorge, which is gorgeous, but absolutely terrifying white-knuckle driving. As far as interstates are concerned, it's like one of the gnarliest spots. Not so much terrain-wise, although that's a little hair-raising, but scenery-wise, distracting, but because of the way people drive. They drive like maniacs through there. I mean, look at that. You see a hole for an interstate there in that mountain? No! They're just going into a crack. Alright, even once you're through the worst of it, it is twisty, it is turny. Everybody should be driving 65, they're all going 85. The whole world feels like it's tilting. Normally I have a better sort of dash cam. I wish I could show you the whole thing in time lapse or something, but whatever. We're almost to Utah. The Beehive State! Ah, there it is. The Utah state line. We're back. Well, I wish I was in the land of Brigham. Old times there are not forgiven. Look away, look away, look away, Brigham's land. Speaking of Brigham, I've just pulled over the car here in St. George, Utah, and this house right here across the street, this is actually Brigham Young's winter home. I've been outside of it before. Of course, I came on a Sunday, the one day when it's closed. Brigham Young, of course, was the pioneering prophet of the Mormons. Came and settled Utah, an absolutely key and fascinating figure in U.S. history and Western United States history, often overlooked. The contribution of, the Mormons even settled Las Vegas, parts of Southern California, all because of the leadership of Brigham Young. And if you're willing to go inside, they'll give you free tours. It's finally open today, so I think I'm going to pop inside. Don't know how camera friendly it'll be, but we'll see what happens. This is very strange, dude. Brigham Young is even a character in the first Sherlock Holmes book. This is so weird. I can't believe I'm standing here on Brigham Young's front porch. That is so cool. Well, it looks like I'm about to get a tour right now. All right, so obviously I'm voicing this over later because, as my tour guide said, the camera is welcome anywhere in the house except on him. He said he's not ancient enough to be part of the museum. But basically, we got a great little guided tour through Brigham Young's winter house, which was expanded a little bit later by his son, but while Brigham was still alive and still visiting the house. And it's a very small place. Very little of the furniture is original. Downstairs, there's just a couple of nice parlors and rooms. And remember that Brigham Young was basically the Utah territorial governor. So he was an important guy in the secular world, not just president of the Latter-day Saint Church. A small kitchen downstairs, and then upstairs up a very steep stairway. There's one small little maid room. He had a paid maid. A very small room for one of Brigham's wives. It's neat because there's a lot of pine furniture painted to look like hardwood in the house. They didn't have hardwood in Utah, so they used what they had, made out of pine. And then Brigham's bedroom has got a massive replica of his original bed and some of his original furniture. And they actually discovered under layers and layers the original paint color to the walls. So that's the original paint color there. And he was explaining to me the missionary guide, because the house is owned by the LDS Church, that he would go out on the veranda here and be able to speak with people, but then he'd be able to retreat into his room because towards the end of his life, he was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis pretty badly. So he didn't want to go up and down the stairs a lot. He could just poke out on the veranda outside that room and be able to talk to people. It's a very tiny house. I mean, small, crazy. And when you're done with the tour, outside, there's one other building. This is the office of Brigham Young, and apparently a lot of interesting stuff happened in church history. If you're of the Mormon persuasion in here, lots of plans for the temples, and I think standardizing sort of what goes on in the temple. So pretty fascinating, interesting day. And hey, it's free. You can't complain. Okay, that was awesome. I wasn't expecting it to be so small in there. It literally looks bigger on the outside than the inside. Obviously, the tours are conducted by missionaries. That's why they're free, because the Mormon Church owns this house. But you don't have to be a LDS Church member to be interested in history. And so I find it absolutely fascinating. There's several good books about Brigham Young and the sort of Western expansion and what a huge role he played in it, which, like I said, often gets completely overlooked. But yeah, that was fascinating going in there. I expected it to be bigger. Just for some reason, it is so tiny. It was basically, so the layout was basically like that main living room or parlor area, which is actually an add-on. They added on this little section. Brigham's main bedroom, a little stairway, the kitchen and dining area in here. I mean, it's tiny. There's probably more square footage in my house that I'm renting back home in California. And Brigham Young, I think in today's money, our tour guide in there said that he would have had something like $32 million of his own personal wealth. And this was his winter home. Just this little humble thing. Humble dude for having so much power and influence out here in the West, not just in Utah. All right, well, he was telling me about some other sites around town that I would love to check out, but it is getting late and I have to get to Cedar City, like right now. However, I'd like to get back to St. George and check out some of the other museums and stuff here. By the way, St. George, not named after the St. George of England. It was named after a guy named George A. Smith, one of the LDS guys. And I don't know if you noticed in the background earlier, it says Dixie up on the hills. That's because they actually grow cotton down here. Or they did. The early Mormons grew cotton down here. It was founded sort of as like a cotton satellite town. Now, there was no railroads back then. They had to rely on themselves and whatever they could grow or make themselves. And actually, inside the house, my guide gave me a little bit of, I almost said cotton that was grown on the premises. So I got a little Brigham cotton in my pocket now. Maybe it'll keep me safe as I travel through Utah. Ooh, there you have the old historic St. George Tabernacle, the Mormon Tabernacle in town. That's another historic building from the time of Brigham, I believe. I don't have a lot of time, and I really should spend some more time checking out all the history sites here in this town, since I've gone through it back and forth between home and Salt Lake a million times. But I figure as long as I'm driving around at the moment, look at that Humpty Dumpty over there, I might as well check out a few things. And I definitely can't leave now after seeing Brigham's house without at least gawking at the temple in town. So I'm just gonna see if I can get close to it here. At least an external view. I don't think they'd be too happy if they found me snooping around inside. All right. Okay, well, it's the wrong time of day for the perfect glamour shot because the sun is sort of behind it. But I found it. I found the old St. George Temple. Look, there's a Mormon church across the street. There's one of the wards, the little church buildings there. And then got the actual temple right over here. Here's the thing, I'm not a member of the fold. I can't go inside and run around and see the inside. I definitely want to check out the outside though. A lot of history there. And I don't think you have to be a member of a fold to be interested in the history. I mean, I visit Notre Dame. I go to historic cathedrals if I'm in France and stuff like that. So the same thing if you're out here in the state of Deseret, as Brigham Young would have called it. You gotta come out and check out the history. Check it out there, those double doors. Just like the plans I saw on the wall in Brigham Young's office. I don't want to go tramping around the grounds, not because you're not allowed to. I'm pretty sure you're perfectly welcome to explore the grounds, but because I know exactly what'll happen. Someone will pop out and then I'll have to talk to another missionary for a while, which I have no problem with. Here's the thing, the guy in Brigham Young's house over there, he's a missionary, you know, and so he's like, hey, well, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I want to get on my little soapbox. I said, tell me the story exactly as you see it. It's not going to offend me. It's not going to worry me. And I like to learn. That's the thing. I think if more people would show a little bit of understanding, go, hey, you tell me the story exactly as you see it. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not necessarily going to agree with you, but I'm not going to argue with you. We're not going to fight about it. The world will be a much better place. And the more you learn about all kinds of people, the more you understand them, the better you can get along. And now, having said that, I really gotta go. See there, they do have a visitor center. And I just found out there's a Daughters of the Utah Pioneers Museum here. So there's a bunch of stuff I want to come back and see if I can. Beautiful grounds around that temple. Nice place to walk around if I had a little more time. I don't have any more time though. So off we go before it's too late. All right, I know we've done a lot today. Don't worry, just one more stop. It's only about an hour from here, but now I'm worried the sun's gonna be down before I get there. So there's one amazing place I gotta drop this stuff off at and tell you about my friend. He has a YouTube channel as well. A little different than this one though. I'll tell you about it when we get there. All right, that was one of those 1 hour drives that felt like 8 hours for whatever reason. Pretty tired now, but I made it to Cedar City and I'm pleasantly surprised that the sun is still up. All right, and here we are. This is my final destination right here. It's Whittlesticks. You see that? It says expert repair up there. My friend Luke owns this place. I met him because he's actually on Patreon here, on the Random Land Patreon. Not only does he repair instruments, guitars, violins, cellos, whatever, he actually scratch builds violins and stuff in here. Anyway, let's go inside. Whittlesticks! Oh, there he is right there. Look at him. Up to no good. Repairing things. All right, it's cleared out a little bit. Luke is the master of the violins, and he's got a YouTube channel. Tell me about your YouTube channel. I know you like to shout it out.
It's Whittlesticks. You just click it out on YouTube, you'll find me. I just show a bunch of the repairs and the work that I do on all this stuff. This is my workload at the moment.
You're gonna undersell it. What it is, he has all his cameras and he gets all like close.
I've got.
Oh, is that the rig right there?
Yeah. So here's.
Look at that!
That's another one.
You get all close in detail with like little tiny
so
repairs.
This stuff goes. I can go right up into repair and show it up.
And
close.
it's awesome. It's like very mellow and cool, and like for me, really fascinating as a person with very few skills. Or very few highly sharpened skills, let's put it that way.
Yeah, so
I love watching you masterfully repair things.
So that's one that I'll be fixing, putting that headstock back on.
Dude, you do headstocks, you'll do like weird inlays, you'll do tiny things, repairing ribs, popping apart guitars and putting them back together, violins, cellos, what else?
Anything with strings.
Dude.
Banjos, mandolins, if it's got strings on it, I can do it.
Pinocchio?
If he's got, sure, we'll try.
Ha! Trick question, Pinocchio has no strings.
He does it first.
Oh, that's
so does
true.
that count?
All right.
These are all different ones. This is my stack right now.
So these are all repairs that you have to do for customers. Too bad, because I want their guitars. Look at those sexy guitars right there. And these, I'm assuming, and you got lessons going on in here. You're like the music man of Cedar City. Are there any other music shops here?
Yeah.
Really?
There's 2 more.
2 more? You're going to run them out of business, though, and take over, I hope.
No, I'm too specialized.
Maybe not the brass.
No, well, yeah, that's part of it, but no, I'm too specialized. I've gone into just doing like the repair and stuff like that.
What about woodwinds? You ever mess with woodwinds?
No. I know you blow in one and noise comes out the other. That's my extended knowledge of
All right, you're not fixing my clarinet then.
No, I'm not.
Okay, Luke is the one. Well, first of all, Luke is like a master woodsmith over here, and he's taught me a lot about wood and tools and stuff like that. I started hacking away and chiseling away because I was friends with Leroy Schmaltz, but when he died, his big advice to me for carving tikis was cut away everything that's not the tiki. And here's a handful of the stuff I use.
Guitar and violin, by the way.
Yeah, it's just like okay. So I just hacking away at it. Luke has helped me a lot, especially with wood and sourcing wood. And more importantly, he's the reason that I'm able to do master carvings like this and then make them into patterns. Basically what I do, I carve a master pattern, and Luke over here will duplicate them. And they're not perfect on purpose because I want to hand make each tiki mask that I produce. But down here, he's got a basement lair, a dungeon, if you will, which is crazier than the shop upstairs.
It's a mess.
Yeah, but it's a fun mess. Look at this. And so
these are the sugar pine boards.
All right, see, he's helping me get some sugar pine. Look at the size of those boards. See, I can't fit these in my garage at home. So what Luke will help me do is he'll take one of my original carvings right here, and he uses this rig, and you're hand doing it. So these are still all hand done.
Yeah, so this is purely mechanical, no computer involved.
Yeah. Everybody else that's making multiples of anything now is basically 3D scanning them or sending them off to Indonesia, and computers are cutting them out.
Yeah, so there's a blank.
Yep.
And so then basically I would take and screw this down, and then I will have a matching bit. And so I don't have the bit in it right now, but you would take this and just come across, and as you go up and down here, the other side matches whatever motion this side does.
And then I'm basically going back over the rough version and smoothing it all out, sanding it all out, staining them, finishing them. Oh, there's a lot. It almost takes me as long to finish these as it does to carve the master patterns. But so Luke is helping me so that they can be really close. These are all my originals right here.
Yeah, there's all the originals. Here's the gate masks, 1, 2, 3.
Look at that stack. I'm sorry, dude. All the work. I didn't realize.
And then here's your originals.
Oh my gosh, there's even more. These are the first ones I did.
Yeah, so there's that guy, and then, Blast from the Past. There's the first one.
And even though it would honestly be just as fast for me to carve brand new ones each time, the thing is now there's a pattern. So if somebody likes that one, I'll have another one very, very similar on the next. Look at the first ones I did, dude. Those were out of literally fence boards because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know where to get wood.
These are redwood, so that's a challenge all on its own.
Yeah, there was a lot of
redwood doesn't carve all that well.
And there was a lot of silica in the air, let me tell you. That's the thing. You start out, you don't know what you're doing. It's actually harder. It gets easier as you go along and get more skill. I still don't have very much skill, but I'm learning. And see all this wood? A lot of the tiki wood previously has come from the mountains, right? Up on Cedar Mountain.
This is from Cedar Mountain. This is all pine. But I gotta show you this. This is your first. And
that's one of the very first ones I did.
It's the first one you ever gave to me.
Yeah.
And then this is like one of the latest ones you did. So you can definitely see there's a lot.
And that probably took me 4 days, and that probably took me 4 hours or something. Like a massive difference in time there.
Yeah. So it's definitely. You've definitely grown in skill set.
Well, thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. You're like my guru, dude. You're the only one. I text you. There's a guy named Sebastian in Montreal who carves tikis who I ask advice from. He sent me some chisels, and you're the other guy. It's like the two of you are my wood gurus.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those. It's like I've tried carving these tikis like this, and I can't do it. I can't picture it.
But you're the master.
Well, yeah, but in instruments. It's a different skill set.
That's true. It is so different because people are telling me all the time, "Well, you can carve this wood. Can you make me a cabinet?" Absolutely not. I could never make a cabinet.
I suck at making boxes.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's a whole different skill set.
Give me, so this is my map. This is the wood I start with.
This is all and you make violins out of this.
Yeah, so this
from
is
scratch.
So that's a violin top. That's the back. That's the sides. This is cello wood, so this turns into cello tops and backs.
So if somebody wants to order a custom-made violin, where do they go?
They can talk to me. I don't do commissions anymore.
Oh, you will, though. You will.
I'm building them. So it's one of those where I will, I'm going to be making these. And
okay, so they're not going to get it from scratch.
No,
well,
I
you'll
will.
make it from scratch.
I'll make it from scratch. They just have to come and see if it's available.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Because I'm making a guitar.
And what is that?
now.
Whittlesticks.com?
Well, you just have to come in. I don't do anything online.
Oh, all right. Make a trip to Cedar City.
Yeah, so there's
It's
the guitar
worth it.
top. That's how guitars start. You see the outline on that?
Dude, you're a madman. See, I couldn't do that. That's crazy. I'm just snooping around looking at all Luke's tools. So I don't know what all these things are. So look at the dust collection system. You got pipes everywhere. This is
That's
so
actually
cool.
vented outside, so I don't have to breathe the dust in.
So you're just blowing the dust at the neighbors or what?
No, it's got so if you look at the garbage can below, that collects all the dust. And so it's just the air that goes
Oh,
outside.
okay, I see. You know what I do with my dust? I get a leaf blower and blow it out at my neighbor's house.
Well, as you can see, I still have plenty.
I probably shouldn't have admitted that on camera. I'm going to get a ticket now.
So this was my 50th guitar, so I've made more than that now. But this was made from black walnut. This is a local tree that was cut down in...
As you do, you know.
Yeah. Well, this was cut down in 87 is when the tree was cut down. My uncle actually cut the tree down in Rockville. And the vocal history is that this was a tree that Brigham Young planted when they founded Rockville.
Dude, it's like a Brigham Young themed day.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
So that's what this was. That's the vocal history. We can't prove it.
Right.
We can prove that he was there. He did plant a tree, and that the lady that lived in the house, she was born in that house, and her parents are the one that built the house in Rockville, and they said that was the tree he planted.
Well, listen, dude, facts are boring. Print the legend.
Right.
This thing...
And then the black stripes in this black walnut right here were caused by railroad spikes that were pounded into the tree.
What?
And then the iron leached up through the tree.
Okay, that is
So
sick.
some of these backs I had, the black stripe was actually about 1.5 inches thick.
Do you
This
still
was
make
kinda
guitars?
less. Yeah. Yeah, so here's one that I'm making right now. So here's the bottom.
So you're still working on guitars right now?
Yeah, so this is one I'm
Okay,
currently in the build.
see guys,
This
you see why I'm enamored with whittle sticks? I was in Las Vegas. I had no real reason to drive here 3 hours. Luke's going to be in my town in like 2 weeks. I just want to come and check all this. Look at this. What is that, a cello?
Yeah, this is a 1940s cello that we're carving a new top for and resetting the neck.
Like it's no big deal. Yeah, we're just carving a new top. Is this a harp? Do you fix harps?
I restring them occasionally. I don't claim. So this is the neck for the guitar. So that's
And you'll be cutting.
that's the neck. So there's the blueprints. So you can see blueprints there
Dude,
for the guitar.
come on. All right, come to Whittlesticks. I noticed the Christmas season cleaned you out on some instruments,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming they'll be restocked. And look at this. You want to play violin? Come pick up a violin. You got everything from beginner models to fancy models in here, Luke?
Not too fancy, because I'm in a little town.
Okay, well then you're going to have to start making some more. You got to crank out the fancy ones. If any of you are fancy violinists.
That's when you get in the fancy violin market, people want to go play them, and I can't afford to have that big stock in this
Oh,
little town.
I see. Okay, guys. Whittlesticks. Look it up because, especially if you're like want something that's really mellow, like the polar opposite of me, go look up Luke's videos because they're fantastic. I don't watch them all the time. Yeah. I don't watch them all the time, but every once in a while I'm stressed out or something. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch like 14 of these in a row. I like watching them on Instagram too, and I just like watch all
I gotta
these.
Get back into the Instagram again.
Yeah, come on, man, Instagram. It's fun. Look at this. Luke carved these chainsaw carved bears. You're a man of many talents. And I just found out a man of many dogs. Hello, dogs. What's up, dog? You're the man now, dog. All right, gang. Had a lot more adventuring today than I suspected there would be. I was going to drive straight back home from here, but I got so tired that last hour. The temperature has dropped precipitously. I mean, there's no moisture in the air. There's not going to be ice on the road or anything. But I don't know if you can see that. There's snow on the ground here. That's how cold it is. It just doesn't melt away. So it's like dropped down to the 30s now. I think I'm just going to find some accommodations here in Cedar City and then cruise back home tomorrow. So for now, I've done my duty. I can, motel and sleep well. I'll be back with you guys on the next one. So until then, my friends, stay cool, stay safe. If there's any natural disasters in your area, fires are out of control at home. I don't really watch the news. I've only seen a few clips here and there. It's just like crazy. So I'm just trying to go like, what do I do with myself here? Like in this situation, like I said, donate a little money here and there until things like really progress. Like I don't know exactly where the best place to donate is yet and all that stuff. Otherwise I'd shout it out. In the meantime, I guess the show must go on. Obviously, if you're of the praying sort, pray for LA. And if not, send the good vibes and the good thoughts and all that stuff. Donate if you can. Anyway, until next time, that's all. I'll see you later in Random Land. Well, as somebody who appreciates this stuff, thank you very much for doing it, because I really enjoy things like this.
Like I say, it's just a hobby. It'll go away someday.
Yeah.
The weather kind of, yeah, some of these things don't last very long.
So you got the beehive crest, Brigham Young's chair, the lion feet.
And here's one of the warm couches with the extra legs that they would slide out.
That is so cool. Wow.
Weighed 190 pounds.
I think I weigh more than that now. But I'm tall. I wear it well.
Built for 1880 building codes.
Hey, nice room.
Now I'm sleeping in the land of Brigham. I don't know what rhymes with Brigham. Sleep away, sleep away, sleep away, Brigham land.